The jet door hadn't even opened when First Officer Brent Walker stormed across the tarmac, pointing at the black pilot standing beside the aircraft. "You don't belong here. Step away from this plane before I call security," he shouted, loud enough for ground crew to stare. The pilot didn't flinch. He simply folded his arms, calm and unbothered. Then he spoke 10 quiet words, words that made Brent's face drain and the entire flight freeze. "This is my jet, and I'm your captain." The sun had barely risen over Falcon Ridge Airport when Captain Damon Price walked across the private apron toward his jet, a spotless Falcon 8X scheduled for an urgent executive flight to Seattle. He carried no entourage, no unnecessary flair, just a quiet authority earned over 20 years of flying. Inside the FBO lounge, First Officer Brent Walker spotted him through the glass and scoffed. "Who's that guy hanging around our aircraft?" he muttered. "Maintenance. Ramp. Whoever he is, he's too close." The terminal agent, Melissa Dane, looked up from her tablet. "Probably trying to sneak photos. I'll handle it." But Brent was already marching across the tarmac, jaw tight, ego sharpened. He didn't check the roster. He didn't check credentials. He didn't check anything. He simply saw a black man near the jet and decided he didn't belong. As Damon reached for the cabin door, Brent barked, "You! Step away from this plane." Damon turned slowly. "Excuse me." Brent pointed at him like accusing a criminal. "I said step back. This aircraft is restricted. If you're lost, the terminal is behind you." Ground crew paused. A few lifted their heads from checklists. Damon kept his tone even. "I'm exactly where I need to be." Brent laughed. "Sure you are. And I'm the president. Listen, man, go stand somewhere else. The real flight crew will be here soon." Damon raised an eyebrow. "Is that so?" "Yeah," Brent snapped. "Captain Reeves is assigned to this jet. Not you." Damon folded his arms, calm and unbothered. "Captain Reeves retired 3 weeks ago." Brent blinked, then scoffed again. "Look, I don't have time for this. You don't belong here. Leave before I call security." Melissa hurried over, siding with Brent without hesitation. "Sir, you need to step away immediately. This is an active flight operation. Passengers arrive in 30 minutes. Damon tilted his head. "And which part of this aircraft do you believe I don't belong to?" Brent rolled his eyes. "All of it. You're not crew." Silence settled. Ground crew stopped pretending not to listen. The disrespect was public, deliberate, and loud. Damon checked his watch. "Would you like to reconsider that statement before this escalates?" Brent stepped closer. "Escalate it. I dare you." Damon inhaled once, controlled, steady. "Very well." He reached into his flight bag, pulled out his ID, and held it up just long enough for the sunlight to hit the embossed lettering. Captain Damon Price, Chief Pilot, Horizon Skyfleet Aviation, the company that owned the jet, the company Brent worked for, the company Damon built from scratch. Melissa's mouth fell open. Brent froze, unable to swallow. You're Captain Price," he whispered. "Yes," Damon said calmly. "And this is my jet." Before Brent could speak again, a black SUV rolled up. Out stepped Ethan Carrington, a billionaire tech executive and Horizon's biggest private flight client. He saw Damon and broke into a grin. "Captain Price, good to see you. Ready for our 8 a.m. wheels up." Then he noticed Brent and Melissa standing rigid like scolded children. "Is there a problem?" Brent stammered. "Sir, I didn't realize. He didn't identify himself, I thought." "You thought what?" Ethan cut in sharply. "That he didn't belong near his own aircraft?" Melissa tried to jump in. "It was a misunderstanding." "No," Damon corrected. "It was a decision." Ethan's expression hardened. "Captain Price, how would you like to handle this?" Damon looked at Brent. "First Officer Walker, you were assigned to this flight. But after your behavior this morning..." Brent straightened, hope flickering. "You're relieved of duty," Damon finished. "Effective immediately." Brent's face drained. "Sir, please, I didn't mean." Damon raised a hand. You endangered an operation by refusing to acknowledge your captain, falsifying assumptions, and escalating a non-issue into a security threat. Hand over your badge. Melissa flinched when Brent extended both his badge and ID. Damon turned to her next. Agent Dane, you supported his misconduct without verifying a single credential. Report to your manager. You're suspended pending review. Melissa's voice cracked. Please, Captain Price, if I'd known. Damon's expression stayed neutral. Respect is not dependent on knowing who someone is. Security escorted both away as the ground crew exchanged looks, half shock, half satisfaction. Ethan exhaled. You handled that with more patience than I would have. I wasn't patient, Damon said. I was precise. Ethan laughed softly. I like that. Ready to brief the flight plan. A new first officer arrived, Jacqueline Royce, one of Damon's most trusted pilots. When she saw the scene unfolding, she gave Damon a knowing nod. Brent's reputation had preceded him. The two entered the cockpit. Damon slid into the left seat, hands moving fluidly across switches and displays. Jacqueline ran through checklists with crisp efficiency. Finally, Ethan stepped aboard, settling into the executive cabin. Captain Price, he called out, I've canceled all other charters with your competitors. After today, Horizon is handling all my aviation needs. Appreciated, Damon replied. Jacqueline closed the cockpit door. Captain, she said quietly, people like Brent think authority looks a certain way. Damon nodded once. And today he learned it doesn't. They powered up the jet. The engines hummed, the runway cleared, and as the aircraft lifted into the morning sky, Damon glanced at the horizon. Not with pride, but with certainty. Some people shout their authority. Others prove it. And sometimes, the quietest person on the runway is the one who owns the entire sky. If you believe real authority doesn't need volume, just proof show it. Like this video, share it everywhere, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, and which moment hit you hardest. Subscribe today, and turn on notifications so you never miss stories where arrogance meets its reckoning.